What's your relationship to what I might call the classic Bollywood industry and that approach to filmmaking?
Used to be a big critic of Bollywood style of filmmaking earlier because the films were a big package of a song and dance and action and comedy and everything. But today it's changed a lot. And they fund me. I get all my money from there. It's a very healthy industry in a way. It's a very healthy industry because it's very self-sustaining.
Because the market is so big.
Market is big, it's self-sustaining. It doesn't depend on institutional finance. It's mostly private finance, and the money keeps flowing back into the movies. That was very healthy industry, and because of which we also get to make a lot of movies. And our mainstream is becoming better day by day, in the sense it's becoming more coherent, more together, and it's not trying to do everything at the same time.
Censorship is relatively strong in India, and your first film as director, Panch, still hasn't been released. How do you deal with that issue of censorship?
I have to fight it all the time. I keep fighting with all my movies. And it is changed a lot. From the time when Panch was banned for the reason that there was a masturbation shot and they said Indians don't masturbate, and things like it dealt with drugs and alcohol and a rock band which was very anti-system. So they were pretty shocked by all that and the violence in the film. But since then I have released films which are much more stronger politically. They make much more stronger statements. So it has improved a lot. But also there is a kind of a political interference in the country which is a big problem, because in India people get easily offended. And the system, instead of protecting the artist or saying that people have to learn to deal with it, they actually tell the artist not to do it. So that's a big problem that we face.
Do you ever feel that you're censoring yourself in advance and thinking, this wouldn't pass, this might pass?
I never did that earlier, but now sometimes, yes, I do that. Sometimes I also say what I have to say, but I figure out a way to say it by circumventing the system. So that definitely is there.
Black Friday, only your second feature film, was about the 1993 bombings in Mumbai. Was it a big challenge to you to get the balance right, to get the story as accurate as possible? There must have been a big chance you would have found yourself in trouble.
I was in trouble. I was in trouble with the film. I was in trouble. The film was banned for 3 years. And I had to fight it out. But I think Black Friday was a very honest film based on facts, and it was very objective. I was very detached to the film in the sense that I did not try to put forth my point of view in the film, force it in the film. It was also a very honest film. I was very naive then. So I just wanted things to be as it is.
Did you have any sense that you could put yourself in danger by making that film?
No, I realized that after I made the film. After I made the film, there were problems, and the film was banned, and we had to fight court battles, and I had to deal with so many things. That's when I actually lost my innocence.
Your two-part film, The Gangs of Wasseypur, is really brilliant, but it's also extremely complex and a huge story, and it was a huge undertaking to make it. What was the appeal of that kind of epic project?
With Gangs of Wasseypur, it's just I love the idea of, doing a gangster film where gangsters are heavily inspired by the mainstream Bollywood and the way they are and their whole lives. Imagine, people fighting a war for 70 years over 2 strips of land. When you really look at Wasseypur, it's actually nothing. It's a dot. It's a dot on the map of Jharkhand. And that place has created so many gangsters and people fighting with each other. And they're so influenced by cinema. They're uneducated, the kids holding guns, watching movies, spouting film dialogues, and feeling like they're the superstars. That for me was very funny and amusing, and also a kind of a critique of, Wasseypur becomes a metaphor for the rest of India over the 60 years. And for me, that was the perfect story to tell, and I wanted to tell the whole story. And I know that our cinema did not give us that much space that I can tell a story which could be very long. So we decided to do it in 2 parts, and fortunately it worked. But it could have not worked, but it worked.
The film has been promoted as a kind of Indian godfather, and I've also seen you described as a godfather to aspiring Indian filmmakers. What's your main motivation with your production work?
My main motivation was when I was making movies, I felt like I was the only one doing it, and very like-minded people, and the voices were actually just talking and not making movies. And then we had a blog. And I started meeting like-minded people on the blog. And nothing, it's just I started finding money for one person. It started with one film called Udan. I did Udan, then lots of filmmakers came to me with the script. Some also had the script and the money, but they said, can you help us make it? And I started doing that. The idea was to have many like-minded filmmakers who would be there to support each other to make a certain kind of cinema.
So it's a kind of community you've created of like...
It's a community that's been created, yes. And now we make a lot of movies.
I think it's a great tribute to KVIFF Film Festival that a filmmaker of your stature has come here for so long, almost a week, and presented so many films. How has the experience been for you of being here in KVIFF?
It's beautiful. I had no idea because we know in India, we know KVIFF as a festival where Raj Kapoor won an award years ago. And Raj Kapoor is our greatest filmmaker that we all admire so much. And beyond that, there's not much that we knew about this place. And this is my first visit to the Czech Republic. And it's beautiful. The festival is beautiful. The kind of selection of movies is incredible. And I realized after coming here that KVIFF actually does the job of finding new filmmakers who go from here and move on to Venice and Cannes and Berlin. And they show their films and slowly grow. And they actually pick out these voices from the east of Europe and the filmmakers and the kind of cinema that we often don't get to see. There's a whole section, the east of west section is incredible.
Have you had much interaction with film goers?
I interacted a lot, and it's very heartening to see so many people coming and watching a film. The curiosity is so heartening, and they come, and all the movies were packed houses, and the movies that, there's one movie like No Smoking was so full. I don't think in India when the film released it had that many audience. And they were laughing and they were getting the film and they were interacting, and which was very heartening. It's been a great experience. It's like, this is a festival I would like to come more often. I was actually planning to be here for the entire festival, but I had to rush back for my television series that starts on the 14th, which suddenly was announced on the 14th. So I had to rush back for that. Otherwise, I would have stayed on. It's like I have not had enough of this place. It's beautiful.